If you're considering getting your real estate license in Canada, or you just recently became a licensed realtor in Canada, there's certain things that you need to know. A lot of the content on YouTube by different content creators in the real estate space are from the States, but unfortunately, a lot of their content doesn't directly apply to us up here in Canada. So in today's video, I want to share with you 6 things that you need to know in terms of important differences between being a licensed real estate agent up here in Canada versus a realtor in the States. What's up everyone, my name is Mike Sherrard. Thank you so much for tuning in as always, and if you're new, welcome to my channel. If you love learning tips, tricks, and secrets about social media, branding, online lead generation, real estate, and entrepreneurship, please make sure you subscribe and lightly tap that notification bell so you get notified every time I drop a new video. Also, if you do get value from this video, I kindly ask that you give it a little thumbs up to keep me inspired to put out new content for you guys on a weekly basis. So, as mentioned in the introduction, the majority of content creators on YouTube in the real estate space are from the United States. There's a ton of great content and there's lots of great content creators. I look at a lot of their videos as well, but you need to know that there's a lot of differences between how things work down there and how things work up here in Canada. And if you're not careful, there's certain things that you can get into trouble with. So in this video, I want to explain 6 main things that you need to be mindful of when you're becoming or you're just getting started as a licensed real estate agent up here in Canada. The first one has to do with prospecting and lead generation. You'll see time and time again, the majority of people talk about cold calling and door knocking. These are both fantastic methods of prospecting as a new agent to build your database and to get in front of more people. But you'll notice that the majority of agents in the States are talking to you about prospecting FSBOs or for sale by owners and expired listings. What you need to understand is while that is okay in the States, it's actually illegal up here in Canada based on our privacy laws. So the majority of scripting and content creation done by agents down there in the States are talking about the best way to get your first listing is to target FSBOs, expireds. They've got all the scripts for sale by owners and the recent expired listings, but you can't do that up here in Canada. So unfortunately, you need to go with a cold audience and you need to come up with more creative ways of prospecting using cold calling and door knocking, but you can't directly solicit and target FSBOs and expireds. The next thing, number 2, is something that's really impactful and something that not many people know about. Facebook ads is one of the things that I excel at. And to be completely honest, it's one of the best ways to generate leads in 2019 and going forward. It's cost effective, it's very efficient, and you can generate a very scalable business for not too much money at all. For just $5 to $10 a day, you can start generating a consistent flow of leads and scale your business, even as a brand new real estate agent. If you want to know how to scale your business using Facebook ads for just $5 a day, even as a brand new agent with no listings and no past clients, click below and I'll show you the link to my free Facebook masterclass where I show you how to generate leads within the next 24 hours. But anyway, the difference lies in the targeting. One of the amazing things about the States is that you have a couple different targeting options in terms of likely to move, as well as targeting people based on income. So let's say you want to target people in the average price point, you're able to pinpoint that price bracket. If you want to get into the luxury space, they have the luxury, for lack of a better term, of targeting people based on their income. So they can actually target the upper price bracket of their area. But up here in Canada, as I'm going to show you in the screen recording, we don't have that option. So let's head into a screen recording where I will show you in the back end of Facebook Ads Manager what happens when you go to try and use these targeting options in Facebook ads. Okay, so I've just opened up a new Facebook ad. I'm not going to go through the process of creating Facebook ads. If you want to know more about that, again, check out my free masterclass. But I do want to show you the difference between marketing in the States and marketing in Canada. So we'll just choose traffic and we'll just go through here. We'll leave it as is. And then I want to come down and show you the targeting. So as you come down here, you can see your audience, and you can see that you've got the locations, which you can choose your province or your state or wherever. You have age, genders, and detailed targeting. So right now I've set this on the states. Let's look at what happens when you come down here and go to detailed targeting. If you click browse, let's go over to demographics. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down here and we're going to go to financial and click income. This is what comes up. You can see household income, top 10% of US zip codes. US zip codes. You can see here over on the side, it says the size, demographics, description. People who live in the top 10% of US zip codes by average household income based on publicly available information. It says US in brackets for all of these, okay? But maybe that's just because we're in the US. Let's go ahead and change this to Canada. Now you can see here we're targeting Canada, and we will come back down here to detailed targeting. And let's go in here and click browse. We will go to demographics, financial, income, and the same thing pops up. You can see household income, top, 25 to 50% of zip codes, not postal codes, in the US. So if you try to click this in Canada and go through and create your ad, it won't actually allow your ad to run. It'll show up as an error, and it does not allow you to target based on household income. So we don't have the ability to target people based on their income, and therefore we can't just target, people who are making $1 million a year or more. This is also dynamically changing. Last year, you were able to actually target people based not just on their income in terms of the top, percentage-wise, as you can see here. It wasn't just top 10%, 10 to 25%, and the like, or the top 5%. Last year, you were able to target people based on how much money they made per year. So you could actually target people based on the fact that they make, based on their publicly available information in Facebook's algorithm, over $500,000 a year, or over $100,000 a year, or maybe over $50,000 a year. You could also target people based on their liquid assets and their equity. But because of the privacy rules and the ongoing changes to protect consumer behavior on Facebook, these are constantly changing. So maybe next year, these might not even be an option. But for now, you are not allowed to target people, or not even able to target people based on their household income in Canada. You can in the States, but again, this is just the one of many different targeting options that we don't have the ability to leverage up here in Canada that you might see people using down in the USA. Okay, so number 3 has to do with platforms and brokerages. There's a lot of people down in the States that talk about Zillow, Trulia, as well as different brokerages like Compass Realty and innovative tech brokerages that are quite prominent down there at the moment. You'll see them a lot in Inman News or any real estate news, and they're doing a really good job down in the States. But what you need to understand up here in Canada is we actually don't have some of the same modern new age tech brokerages that they do in the States. Yes, up here in Canada, we do have boutique brokerages that have a tech focus, but Compass Realty is not up here in Canada. We just recently got Zillow and Premier Agent, but they're just starting to break into the market, so they don't have a presence up here for the most part. So Zillow leads and things like that, as many agents will talk to you about in the States, don't actually apply up here. We have Realtor.ca, similar to the Realtor.com, but the majority of brokerages and platforms are quite different up here. As you may or may not know, Canada is a little bit slower to adapt to new technology and new innovative things that are coming into any industry, let alone the real estate industry. So things like Zillow will come, things like Amazon Turnkey will come, and it's all part of the journey. But usually we're about a year or two behind what's going on in the States, which leads me to number 4, which is we are quite far behind in terms of leveraging modern technology compared to the States. Now, what does this mean? This means that up here, a lot of agents took longer to start leveraging properly Facebook advertising and Instagram. Agents took longer to make tech, video, and content marketing one of the primary focuses of their marketing strategies and building their brand. But what does this mean for us as Canadian real estate agents? This actually gives us a fantastic opportunity. So while the agents down there are in fierce competition with each other, trying to stand out with the latest Facebook ads and the latest way of creating content, up here, there's not too many people doing it right and investing all in on tech and video and content marketing. So for you as a brand new agent or as an agent that's looking to get into real estate, make sure that you put a focus on leveraging video content, leveraging social media, because still to this day, not too many agents up here in Canada are properly leveraging those platforms. So that means that it's actually much easier for us to stand out here because we are able to take what has been proven down in the States and people are doing and getting great results with, bring it up here, and then suddenly we stand out because not too many people up here are leveraging the same thing. So as you're starting to watch more content on YouTube and Google and social media, take a look at what's going on down in the States. Look at what some of the top agents and Tom Ferry's and Kevin Ward's and some of the coaches are talking to you about in terms of real estate marketing. And then bring it up here because chances are there's not too many people in your market that are properly leveraging what the coaches down there are telling you on YouTube and the like. If you bring it up here, it's going to make you look like you've got your finger on the pulse of the latest and greatest technology and trends, and that's going to help you have a competitive advantage when you're going into listing presentations with your marketing strategies. Number 5, and I'm not too sure how this is done down in the States, but I do just want to say in general, is you need a different license to be able to sell and buy real estate in different provinces. Now, again, for full disclosure, I don't know how it's done in the States, but many people ask me if I'm in Ontario and I want to help a friend buy a house or sell a house in Quebec or the next province over, can I do that? Unfortunately, there is a unique license structure for each and every province. So we don't have the ability to sell between different provinces. The best way to get around that is to simply just have designated referral partners in each province who you trust and is an extension of your quality and level of business so that you can refer your business to somebody else and then get a cut of their commission, usually something like 20 or 30% or whatever they decide is the best option, but just have a referral partner so that you can get paid, you can have your clients well serviced, but you don't need to go get licensed in a different province. Now, the final thing, number 6, is you'll hear a lot of agents down in the States talk about escrow. We don't have escrow up here in Canada. Whenever somebody submits an offer, the deposit usually gets held in trust by the seller or the listing agent's brokerage. And then once you go through the condition period of maybe financing, property inspection, and condo doc review if it's a condo, you end up waiving conditions. And once you waive conditions, it's time to meet with the lawyers. Up here, after you meet with the lawyers, they are going to handle the funds. On the day of possession, the lawyers are going to transfer the funds from the buyer to the seller, and that's when the deal is done. And that's when you get to hand over keys to the new buyer and give possession. But down in the States, you're going to hear about escrow and all kinds of stuff like that. Don't worry about it because we just don't have it up here in Canada. So those are some of the 6 main differences among many others, but these are some of the primary ones that you need to be aware of with things like targeting on Facebook and social media ads and online lead generation, how to prospect, being cautious of the fact that we are not able to target for sale by owners and expired listings up here. We do have a different transactional process where we do not have escrow. Also, when you're looking at brokerages as a brand new agent or an agent currently getting your license, we do not have some of the more popular brokerages that you're going to be hearing in videos down in the States because they just haven't made their way up here yet. I'm guessing that it's inevitable that at some point they will come up here because they're thriving down there and we've got a great market to tackle up here, but they're just not here yet. And finally, make sure that you look at what sort of marketing trends and technology is being leveraged in the States and implement it up here. We are behind the times, but this is a fantastic opportunity for you as a new agent to stand out, build your business, become a local authority, and doing real estate the modern way. If you guys have any more questions about the differences between being a licensed realtor up here in Canada versus down in the States, comment below and let me know. I'll gladly answer any of your questions. I love when you guys engage with my content, and I can't wait to see you in the next video.